Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a durability test on some of the more popular trim restores and maybe some not so popular ones that maybe you should consider for restoring and ceramic coating your trim. So let's go ahead and get started. If you're new to the channel and haven't already subscribed, I encourage you guys, make sure you click all the buttons down below so that way you can stay tuned for any future videos that we have coming out. But thank you for watching, and let's go ahead and get started. So first up for our trim restore category, we have Black Wow Pro. This is a product from Richard Lynn. It's going to run you around $59 for 12 ounces. It actually has a delightful watermelon scent, and a little bit of this goes a very long way. Next up, we have Trim Restore Fusion Gray. Now this is from Solution Finish. It's going to run you around $34.95 for 12 ounces. And this is their gray version for gray trim. They also have a black version that they would recommend for black trim. We're going to test it out side by side and see, does it really matter? Can you use the black trim restore on gray trim, or does the gray work better? I've never really tested it, and I thought this would be a good side-by-side comparison. These products will last you for decades in a bottle of this size, so if you're wanting to test them out, they actually do sell them in a 1-ounce bottle for many of you to try out. Our next product is from Lone Star Coating Technologies, their Black Trim Restore. This is similar to Solution Finish, but in my opinion, a touch better. It's going to run you around $25 for a 12-ounce bottle. And our last Trim Restore product is Blackout from Black Rhino Car Care, made in the USA, $44.95 for an 8-ounce bottle. You can see there's no black dyes within this. It's all natural, so whatever restoring happens is from the actual product, not from dyes. For our trim coatings, we have V-Plastic from Vonixx. This is going to run you around $39.95 for a 50 milliliter bottle, up to a 3-year durability claim. And then we have Stoner Car Care, their Trim Shine Ceramic. This is going to have a up to 5-year durability claim and run you around $63.99 for a 30 milliliter kit. That includes everything that you need for application, as well as very detailed instructions. We've already done a panel prep wipe on this trim piece to make sure it is clean. Let's go ahead and get these applied. So because most trim restores do have a little bit of a dyeing capability, we're just going to glove up. Plus the coatings, it's always good to protect your skin. We've done an IPA wipe on all these surfaces, and we're just going to kind of use some junky old microfibers for the trim restore, because chances are they're going to be ruined once we're done applying this. The Black Wow Pro will clean up nicely, same with the Blackout, but these 3 products here do have a little bit more of a natural dyes within them. I believe all of them are somewhat organic dyes that are within them. And then we have our 2 trim coating / restores that we will use their dedicated applicators for them. I've worked with this product in the past. Has a really nice watermelon scent. You can see it's kind of a pink solution, and you don't need a lot with this. Literally that much is all you would need for this section here. This is going to restore but not dye. So because this trim is more gray naturally, it will just bring back a nice gray finish. Applies very evenly. I'm gonna see if we were to be like, I don't have anything Solution Finish as far as their Fusion Gray. If we were to just use their Black Trim Restore, let's see what would happen. This stuff can get a little messy. You can see we have a little bit of a darker appearance with this, but I kind of like it on this faded gray avalanche trim. Just to flip over to a fresh side. Get our gray. So you can see it's a lot lighter than the Solution Finish Black. Our Lone Star Trim Restore. I will say, out of all of them, you can see we have like some black residue left behind, so there is a little bit more of a dyeing going on. I'll say this, I've worked with all of these products before for trim restores, and they all work really well. So for me, this is more of a test to see durability, as well as, let's say you do have more gray trim, which product is going to work better. I feel like this actually has the darkest restoring out of all the products, and it's kind of like a yellowish color, like a golden color within here. Let me bring you in close. So this is before kind of knocking all of them down. What are your thoughts? So now we're gonna go ahead and apply our coatings. Make sure I don't have any trim restore on my glove. So this is Stoner's Trim Shine ceramic coating. And just to give you a little bit of backstory, I've done some collaborations with Stoner. They're a local company to me. Been around for over 80 years. And they have amazing products that most everyone has heard of, from Invisible Glass, Terminator, their Trim Shine, their new glass coating that they just come out. They have a ton of amazing products. But when they were developing this product, I went to tour their facility last summer. And as I was walking around one of their buildings, I saw a piece of trim sitting on a table, on a picnic table, and asked about it. Half of it looked like it had been coated, the other half hadn't been touched. And they actually said that they had that sitting out there for years, and it looked fantastic. I believe that they took that same piece of trim and just kind of moved it from the roof to various spots all over their property. And the Trim Shine ceramic was holding up fantastic. So I've been very eager to test this out myself. This is such a small piece here, we don't need a lot. On this faded trim though, it's doing a nice job of restoring. That looks actually really nice. And we're just gonna kind of let that sit on there for a minute, and then we'll level. With trim coatings, you really don't have to do an aggressive level, because there's really not that rainbowing or high spots that you're going to see with paint. So it's just as simple as apply and just a quick level. So here we have our Stoner Trim Shine ceramic. This is the one section that we haven't coated yet. We'll do that with our Vonixx V plastic, and this will be our control panel. You can see all of our restores have a little bit more of a darker hue to them, but a little bit more of a greasy look to them. And after applying and leveling, it just looks like brand new trim. We leveled our coating, and you don't necessarily need to level trim restores, but I find to help prevent streaking after rain, it's always nice just to do a quick buff off of your restore. So we're going to go ahead and do that and move on to our last coating. So let's go ahead and apply our Vonixx. And for those that wonder, are trim coatings a true ceramic coating? Yes, because you can actually see I have crystallized coating that had kind of dried around the lip of the bottle, falling off even as I'm applying it to the applicator. So this is a true ceramic coating. So just like we did with our Stoner trim coating, we're going to apply a few drops to our applicator. We're going to massage it in. You can do your typical crosshatch. Just make sure you thoroughly massage it in. And then we're going to come in, give that a few minutes to set up. Now this didn't flash as quickly as the Stoner. You can see it has a little bit more of a wet appearance. So we're going to actually try to accelerate that flash time before we come in and level. So that way we're just not basically wiping off a lot of the transfer solution. We want to give that about a minute or so to kind of flash off and then come in, level, And there you have it. All of our trim restores and trim ceramic coatings have been applied. They all did an excellent job of restoring this faded avalanche trim. For those of you that are looking for options and want to see durability, make sure you keep watching this video. We're going to let this sit for 5 days in my garage to let it fully cure. And now let's go ahead and do our durability test. We are actually a little over 6 months after we applied all of our trim restores and trim coatings to our faded avalanche trim piece. We are now December 2nd, and we're going to go ahead and do a quick update for you guys to see how these products have performed. And I just want to kind of preface, I've had this piece of trim sitting outside for 6 months plus. I haven't washed it, I haven't touched it, it's been rained on, it's had tons of dirt and sun. It literally has just sat right here in the stones off to the side, getting hammered by Mother Nature. So what we're gonna actually do is just do a quick peek, maybe test our hydrophobics to see if our coatings are giving us some hydrophobics. And I also want to mention that just this morning, I did want to actually see, can we layer up our ceramic coatings? Is it going to show a difference? Is it going to actually bond? A lot of coatings, I'll tell you have to kind of abrade it off. But with trim coatings, it's kind of a unique surface that they don't really recommend that you polish trim pieces. You can get polish residue and stain on it. So I wanted to know, like, if your trim coating is kind of at its life, or maybe you just want to kind of double up, can you layer that? Will it bond? How will it hold up? So we're kind of testing a bunch of different variables. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. Before we take a look, I want you guys to comment and vote down below. Which one do you think, out of our trim restores and our trim coatings, which one do you think will have held up the best? Did you vote? Lock them in. Now, here's our results. This is our Black Rhino Blackout. You can see this is our control panel here. We've had even more fading occur on this avalanche piece, which that's not a shock. These trim pieces are just notorious for being faded. This actually is one of the most surprising sections for me. Next up, we have our Lone Star Coating Technology, their black trim restore. I am extremely impressed. These are probably, personally, my top two out of the last 6 months for our trim restorers. Both of these, you can see this is kind of a yellowish restore. There's no dye in it. It's actually just restoring. This does have a little bit more of a dye nature to it. If you actually get this on your hands, it can make your hands a little bit black. So there's a little bit more dyeing going on. So I think this product impresses me all the more to what it's been able to do on this avalanche piece to maintain that nice dark appearance without any sort of dyes. So just interesting observations. Over here we have our Trim Restore Fusion Gray from Solution Finish. This is our gray version. Not bad. I can see we have a little bit of fading coming on here where you can kind of see the applicator where it looks like it's maybe wearing thin. Solution Finish, the black trim. Actually, I don't think it looks as good as our Fusion Gray. You can see a little bit more kind of zebraing or lines going on in it. The Blackwell Pro. This stuff is not cheap whatsoever. Has some pretty hefty claims that I've seen over, the last few years. It's one of my favorite ones to work with because it's so easy to apply. A little bit goes a long way. You can see like over the last 6 months where maybe it's not holding up quite as much as our other pieces that had a trim restore to it. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our trim coating. So this is our Vonixx V Plastic. You can see here, this was actually our first application right here. We restored very impressively. This is actually kind of 50-50 of where I just applied a second coat earlier today. But I want to kind of see, if 6 months, a year afterwards, if it's starting to fade a little bit, which it's going to. Nothing is a permanent restore. If you wanted to just recoat without polishing, will it hold up? And then we have here our Stoner Trim Shine Ceramic. So again, here is our original piece. Looks great. Did give it a little bit more of an enriched appearance, but not too much. I think honestly the Vonixx gave us a little bit of a darker appearance here in comparison. But let's go ahead, do a quick check-in on Hydrophobics. We'll even do some soapy washes just to see if we do maybe a 10 wash test, how any of these products can kind of hold up to typical maintenance on a vehicle. So when it comes to Hydrophobics, for our trim ceramic coatings, it looks like both have very nice hydrophobics. Looks like our Stoner is maybe a little bit more hydrophilic where it might sheet, and our Vonixx is a little bit more hydrophobic where it might bead. And out of our trim restores, it does look like our Blackwell Pro has some slight hydrophobics, whereas the rest, they look pretty flat. So for our 10 wash test, we are just using Griot's Car Wash. This is a pH neutral soap that you can use to maintain a vehicle. I'm not looking to be super aggressive. I just want to know, will they withstand your typical car washes? So the Blackwell Pro section has more hydrophobics than any of our other trim restores. Now, I barely give these ceramic coatings an hour to cure before I hit them with water, which that is not recommended. Most will tell you 5 to 7 days. I did not do that. I did maybe an hour, and then we're hitting it with water. And surprisingly, both coatings endured a 10 wash test, even an hour after fresh application. So I'm not upset about either one of those scenarios here. I think both look pretty similar, maybe our Vonixx slightly stronger, but our ceramic coating for our Vonixx on the entire section looks like we have hydrophobics. Obviously it's tighter on the left where it's fresh. I think our Stoner hydrophobics, they're there. Maybe not quite as strong, but we've restored and we have hydrophobic protection on both. So there we have our 10 wash test, hydrophobic update. So this is a kind of a part B. This is an alkaline tire and wheel cleaner. We're gonna work it in. This is kind of mimicking, if you go through an automatic car wash, some of the stronger chemicals that your trim pieces are exposed to, and there's 2 ways that your trim pieces are going to fade: from the sun, oxidation, and from chemical staining. If you think of it, trim is porous, like skin. You use too strong of a soap or chemical on your skin and it will dry it out. It pulls the oils out of your skin, and it will do the same thing on your trim pieces. Obviously, sun will damage, like skin, it will actually burn it, kind of like we get sunburn. And that's what that oxidation layer is on faded trim, is kind of a sunburn on that trim piece. But you also can chemically burn it by using too strong of a chemical to wash or around those areas. Either a degreaser, some iron removers, they recommend that you don't use it around trim pieces because it can stain it. So we're just gonna go ahead, rinse this off. So after cleaning with our high pH degreaser, you can see the hydrophobics on our Stoner trim ceramic definitely took a hit. The trim is still restored, but the hydrophobics have been weakened. But our Vonixx V plastic, it's actually very much impressing me. I didn't expect this from this product. The hydrophobics look great even after fresh application, hitting it with a higher pH cleaner, and it's restoring very nicely. You can see we have kind of like a sliding scale of all of our trim restores where we go from kind of really dark to kind of light. It's almost like a scale, but the Blackwell Pro hydrophobics, again, are kind of impressing me. I just wish the restoration was there. Go ahead and actually get an iron remover that there's been a little bit of controversy lately that it can stain trim. I want to test it out on this Avalanche trim. This is like the most notorious piece of trim out of the entire automobile market for fading. We're going to hit the Stoner iron remover on this trim and see, does it remove any of our trim restorers? Does it bleach them? Does it damage our coatings? Do the coatings help kind of prevent chemical staining? I have much respect and love for Stoner, and I really appreciate the fact that there's been a few people that have seen an issue with that specific product on certain substrates or maybe on certain floors that they are immediately addressing, and there's much respect to be had for a company that quickly addresses any sort of issues like that. And this is actually me working with them. I was with them yesterday doing an update on the ceramic coating that they came out with at SEMA. And you know, we were talking about the iron remover and what it did to another influencer's vehicle. And while they are immediately addressing that issue, I'm doing my own kind of testing to see if maybe one of the variables was that it was a faded piece of trim that already had issues, that a restore was put on, and that product removed the restore and kind of revealed what the previous condition of the vehicle was. Did it just remove the restore? Detailing, what I love about it is it's so much science. Every vehicle you're learning, and so this is just more a little bit of product development for them, and also education for all of us to kind of understand different scenarios. Most companies will tell you on the back of their package, if you're using an iron remover, to not put it on plastic trim for this very reason. And I'm just trying to help kind of educate them with real world scenarios. That is what great companies do. They always improve, they're always learning, they're always growing and listening to their customers, because that's the number one great sign of a great company, is that they listen to their customers, take instructional criticism, and they never stop growing and advancing. I'm not paid by Stoner. I just have a lot of respect for them. I work with them closely because I respect the work ethic that they have and the stance that they have for wanting to put the best product out there for their customers. So let's go ahead, test it with the iron remover. I'm just gonna douse this. And this is actually kind of my second time working with this product up close. And it is a very, very mild APC smell. Really, really pleasant. Actually, it has a nice kind of surfactant soap base to it. When we used it yesterday, we were kind of experimenting with it on Skylar's vehicle. And as a clay lube, had really nice lubrication due to the surfactants within it. You don't necessarily need to go this heavy on a vehicle, because you can kind of spread it out, work with it with your clay towel. But I'm just kind of soaking it in this, and I'm actually kind of working it in, because we all know when you work a product in versus just kind of spraying it, rinsing it, you're going to see 10 times more kind of pungency with that product. Now, it was pre-wet just because it wasn't fully dry, so just another observation to make. This wasn't a dry panel. Again, we're not working out in direct sunlight. I am spraying this, and we're going to rinse this on my blacktop. I do not have a concrete driveway, so you know, hopefully we're not going to see any staining on the driveway, and hopefully we're not going to see any staining on this trim piece. So we have our Black Wild Pro still with some hydrophobics. None of our other trim restorers actually have hydrophobics to them. So while it may not have had the darkest appearance, it did give us extended protection and hydrophobic properties. Our Stoner ceramic coating, it looks like that actually did kind of weaken the hydrophobics. Our Vonixx ceramic coating on our plastic was unfazed. So there is kind of our final assessment on our trim pieces. And I hope you guys see value in doing tests and experiments like this. And if you do, would you please give us a thumbs up? And if you can, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below. We have thousands of people watching these videos, and only about 25-30% of you guys have actually subscribed. And if you guys see value in doing experiments like this and seeing transformation videos and education for detailing, it just show your appreciation. Helps me see that I am doing what I am supposed to be doing. Sometimes it can be really frustrating to see so many people watching but so few subscribing. So make sure you guys give us a follow. So here's our final look. 6 months later, after a 10 wash test, a chemical torture test with a high pH cleaner as well as an iron remover, here are our final results. We don't have any sort of damage, burning, staining whatsoever. In fact, I don't believe that it really weakened our trim restores. So obviously they withstood all of these chemicals that we kind of exposed them to. But if I were to give my final assessment, I would probably say number one, for our Black Rhino Blackout. Number 2 is our Lone Star Trim Restore. Both of these small family companies made in the USA. Really love supporting small businesses. So for any of you that want to try out these products, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these. Third coming in, Blackwell Pro. Very impressed with the hydrophobics that this product had in comparison to these others. But obviously, maybe we needed to go a little bit thicker with our initial application so we wouldn't have this. Again, a lot of different variables, you never really know. And then our solution finish, both did okay. I'm not going to say they did a bad job. I just think that, you know, out of all of these 5, for these testing purposes, obviously these would be 4th and then 5th. And then for our plastic coating / restore, honestly, I am really impressed with this Vonixx V plastic. Very easy to apply, very affordable. And I can actually see a line of demarcation where I did the fresh product. So that actually tells me that our original layer hasn't lost its appearance. And honestly, hydrophobics were there. Very, very, very impressed with our V plastic. Our Stoner trim ceramic, obviously you can see, is holding up great as far as appearance. I think we do have a little bit more enrichment here. So again, I'm just noting observations, but I don't think you can go wrong, honestly, with any of these products. They're great options and solutions. This is not, you know, me saying this is the best, this is the best. This is just me presenting options and sharing with you guys my experience. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And again, if you haven't subscribed, if you guys enjoy content like this, the best way that you can show me appreciation for the time it takes to make these videos, hit that subscribe button and that bell off to the side, so that way you can stay tuned and help support my family, help me know that I'm not kind of wasting my time doing these videos, because this does take quite a bit of investment for me to be able to do videos like this, and I appreciate any sign of support that you guys can give me. So thank you guys for watching, and if you guys would like to see other products tested out in the future, let me know in the comment section down below. But we'll see you guys in the next detail. Have a great day.